Well, Anderson meant to me back then, being that it was like the right back then. It was only black schools in Austin because they didn't have the segregating thing yet. But to me, it meant because my parents and a lot of my family members graduated from Anderson, and I was wanting to graduate from Anderson also. But it meant to me just man, like that was blackness, being black and go to a school where it's all black kids, black people and family members, everybody from your neighborhood, but it was just, Anderson was just a school of learning. The teachers were they really showed that they really cared. They wanted us to learn, so they could prepare us for the outside world. But I just love the spirit of Anderson High School, because I knew I heard from as a child what my parents and my uncles and aunties and all who went to Anderson, so and I like that, I really love that. Plus being a member in the band, a drummer. I love music like my mom because my mom was a music teacher, Miss Sauls. So. Well, I think I would just describe it as a school of, we believed in our school and the colors, which were black and gold, and the yellow jackets was our symbol. And it was a school of a lot of love, a lot of relationships with other people. And just the teachers that were there, because they knew our families, and they genuinely showed a caring for us, and that it was a school of a higher learning too. I could say that. I think the most memorable moment was when they had a senior day, and the seniors get to will whoever they want something, right? And so Amber's Kearney, because he was in the drum section with us, and Amber's and I were close, so he willed me a pair. He said, I will Ricky Sauls a pair of new shoes because I used to wear my shoes to the end, like the heels would kind of lead to the side, So, but it was luckily that day I had on a brand new pair of shoes. But that was just the most memorable moment because everybody just cracked up. We laughed so hard about that, But that was the most memorable moment. uh, to me, it was close. The school, Anderson, is one thing. It was right in the community, the black heart, the heart of Austin, East Side, and we could walk to school because I remember we walked to school where we lived, but we didn't live that far from it. And but I don't know. It just I don't know, something about being, your school is right there and you're almost in your area, your neighborhood or where you live. And, and it's close by. Parents, I don't think had to worry too much, like us, by us. Like when they closed Anderson, we had to go to Reagan. That was the difference because we were bused. But, we could walk from Anderson and walk home and it was safe. We didn't, have to worry about things happening to us back then. Things have changed now, but the community though I think was proud, to have the black school of Anderson, right here in the community. So, and a lot of people graduated from Anderson, and they grew up and went on to be successful. Man, we all were devastated, because they had us all come to the gymnasium, and then that's when they were telling us that they were going to be closing the school, and man, everybody was like, people were crying, girls, guys, some guys even were crying, and a lot of the girls I know, because we all had our hearts set on graduating there because our parents and family members and grandmothers and grandfathers, it was history of graduating. I wanted to graduate from Anderson, and I look forward to that, so. When we found out that, man, it was really hurt, and then some of us got really angry, kind of wanted to just like, how you say, rebel, and just wanted to do something stupid or crazy, to just show that we didn't appreciate it, we didn't want that, and we kind of did try to do some things to let them know that we didn't want them to close the school, but it was like an open and shut case. Because I think it was because the integration was coming up and they wanted to start seeing about busing us to the white schools, and they were saying we'd get a better education and all this, but we were getting just as great an education at Anderson as the white schools, because the teachers genuinely cared, you know. Well, I remember from growing up on the east side when we lived at 2905 East 13th Street, and I actually passed through that, and the house is no longer there. But what I remember then was back then was that back then we could sit outside and you could leave your doors open at your house at night. You know, when people would sit out in the yards and neighbors, everybody knew you. Everybody knew your children. Your children knew everybody else. And if you did something, you know, if you got in trouble, you know, they could spank you, you know, and then tell your parents and you get another spanking, you know. But the community, I don't know, it just seemed like it was a lot of more communication, or more of trust, and knowing that everybody wanted the same thing for everyone and everyone's children, you know, and there was a lot of like discipline. You know, if I saw your child doing something wrong and I knew you, you knew me, you either told me, you see my child doing something, you know, you can whoop his butt, or you can tell me and call me, and you know, stuff like that. But just to being able to sit outside and we could leave our doors open at night, man. I remember that. We should sit outside, you know, family, and we'd eat watermelon and whatnot, you know, and then you could talk to the neighbors, and you know, everybody. It was just a free, safe environment, you know. It was not like it is today, though. Well, what I've come to know, and my kids today my children are all grown. My youngest daughter just graduated from college at East Texas Baptist University last year, December the 13th. But over the years, I know how my parents raised us, you know, and my dad was very strict, very stern, kind of rude with an iron fist, you know. My mom was she was more laid back, but she had a way with words. She had a way where she could look at us and we knew she was serious. She could say a few things to us and she was serious. But today I tell my kids that I found myself in the beginning trying to raise my children the way my father raised me. And I found out later on in life that wasn't the right way to go for me. You know, today I just feel like I try to be more honest with my kids, straightforward. I tell them the truth. You know, I let them know that, you know, that no matter, you can be whatever you want to be. Don't let nobody tell you can't do this or can't do that, can't be this, be that. But one thing I really learned from my mother is that to instill in my children that to believe in God, trust God, pray, read God's word, try to live your life, treat people the way you want to be treated, live your life in a way that's pleasing to God to the best of your ability. You know, I don't believe in like really. Well, when I was raising my children, also I did spank my kids. I spanked them. I'm old school, you know. But today I don't know. I don't too much see that anymore as far as spanking my kids. I can say something to them in a way that they will understand that I'm serious, that I mean what I'm saying, you know. But I'm only trying to help you, you know, to do better, be better in life, you know. Like I told my son. My next oldest son, I told him he went to the military and he kind of went over and messed up. But when he got back here, I didn't scold him. I didn't beat on him or, you know, come down on him real hard or nothing, because I knew he was already hurting. Because when he left, I told him, I said, son, be the best you can be. You know, don't let me down. You know, but he went over and did something stupid. But, you know, as we all do, but at some point. But then when he came back, you know, I told him, I said, I love you. I still love you. I'm always love you. No matter what happened in life, in your life, you know, I'm going to love you to the end, you know, and you can still get up and come from wherever you might have fallen, but you can still rise back up, you know. But I always try to tell him, trust in God. Put your faith in God. You know, God will help you through all this, you know. Just encouragement, basically encouragement. So, I'm staying in the church now. You know, I don't do the clubs or nothing anymore. You know, and if I can say this, I am a recovering addict. I've been clean since August the 28th. I celebrated 6 years. So, you know, my life changed a lot because I don't go to clubs or anything. I don't do any of the things that I used to do. You know, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't do anything now. But most important thing that I do today in my life is I stay in the Word of God, you know, and I stay connected to God. You know, I go to church, go to Bible study when I can, minister to others when I have the opportunity, you know, and then music playing in the choir, whatnot. You know, so, and I love the peace that I have in my life today. You know, I do. I'm able to today be able to understand things more clearly and be able to accept things, but also be able to persevere, to endure, to you know, fight, you know, for whatever it is that I believe in, stand for what I believe in, like morals and values and whatnot today. Because, you know, when I was coming up young, man, you know, we kids and we teenagers, you know, we wild. You know, and I think I know it all, you know, but then as I get older, and I just turned 59 years old, June 23rd of this year, man, I'm telling you, I'm starting to realize a lot of the things that my parents told me when I was a kid. And they say, well, you just keep living, and as you get older, you know, you'll learn, you'll start seeing things in a different way, you know. But that was my hope and my dream was to graduate from Old Anderson. But even though I didn't get to, I still have it in my heart. We still are celebrating Anderson with my last class of 71. We have a dance tonight. We have our picnics. We have our, you know, and get to see people we haven't seen since high school, man. That's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful